raising capital for things we're in, talking to investors. My investors are, Forbes 1000.
Hello.
Hello, how are you, my friend?
Good. How are you, Danny G? How are you?
Good, good.
So, should we get started?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. This is Zaire Media. My name is Mira Zuruddin. Today, my guest is the CEO of DPG Investments, Mr. Danny G, aka DPG, Daniel. So before we get started into finance, private equity, and how you structured over $1.7 billion in different sectors, let's talk about your family roots and your background. Where's your family from?
My family came from Milan, Italy. We had very humble beginnings in coming over to America. We're a business family, but we came to America, we didn't know anybody, probably like your family. Mm-hmm. And my grandfather had, a dream of making this country.
Okay. What were your goals when you were growing up as a kid? What were you trying to do?
As a kid, I didn't know much, so I was growing up in Chicago. And initially, my father was raised in Rockford, and he had a tennis scholarship to college. And he was selling cash registers, and I was growing up kind of in middle class, maybe a little lower middle class, something like that. And then he got involved with a company, and they took it to $1 billion in sales, and they took 90% of the global handheld barcode reading space. So all of a sudden he'd show up with limos, and we went to private planes. And then, you travel with him, and you'd see the respect people have for him at meetings. You just wanted to be someone who people respected. And then we moved to California when I was probably 11, Southern California, and then I was at the best private schools and around kids with money. But I was raised to believe that the money wasn't ours, it was his, and I was going to have to make it on my own, right? So yes. I basketball was a ticket for me, and then I was good enough to get my college paid for through sports, which really taught me how to compete. Being a white point guard, you really have to compete. In a game that's not your game, and so it got me ready for kind of being a renegade on and what I do in Wall Street.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this global pandemic going on? How did this affect the hotel businesses and all that? Under in that space.
It's crushed people. It's crushed people. It's going to bring a lot of opportunity to us. The last crisis, I don't know if you remember, 12 years ago, I made a fortune. I was like 27, 28, and you get an opportunity to help people. And if you help them, you make, it's insane amount of money. Like, for an example, these guys, I'm buying a company in Singapore and investing, and they were the largest IPO last year. And they raised 650 million, and everybody loved them. 19 hotels. And then COVID hit, and they went into defaults, and now they couldn't fill up their hotels, and they went from $1 billion market cap to 100 million. And investors lost. Some guys put up 100 million, lost 90 million on paper. And then the financial regulatory started screaming, and then the media is screaming at them. And now a trustee has taken over the company, and we can buy in at 10 cents. And if we buy in at 10 cents and fix it, it could go to $5, $10, and that's how you make small fortunes. But there's lawsuits and defaulted loans and legal issues and all types of things, So this is a sad time for this country, man. I mean, the young people are getting really hurt. This I thought it was going to go on for a couple of months, and now this is going to go on for some time, and we don't know the effects yet. But I can tell you this: you can't turn off an economy and not think there's going to be serious issues. So there's going to be, industries are going to be fully disrupted, and it's going to be a bloodbath.
Mm-hmm. As a kid and in college, what was your major? Did you switch any majors, or were you always going as finance major?
No, I never did finance. I was actually a really poor student.
Okay.
I could barely get by because I had learning disability, still in class, and it was my athletics. That was the only reason I went to college. So I actually got a degree in religious studies. I really didn't care about business. But then again, you got to remember, I was being exposed to business at home at a very high level. Like, you can't teach you that in school. Stuff I was learning at home, you can't teach you that in school. The teachers never experienced that. So that's what I try to do on Twitter is where I try to expose people to things. Because if you can see it, even if it's through me, then you can achieve it. Right. And the only reason I believed I could achieve it, I was a horrible student. Nobody wanted to hire me when I came out of college, is because I'd seen such success. And I believed if you worked hard, and I had these personal beliefs that, maybe these teachers really, they're not making a lot of money. So what do they know? And I'm not going to get the education, but I had a different philosophy and it ended up working out for me. So.
What was the best piece of advice you've gotten so far?
Tell the truth. If you tell the truth and work hard, someone will always bail you out. Okay. Someone will always help you. If you're lying to people and stuff, it'll catch up. And it's a small world.
Okay. What do you want to say to the finance students that are watching you right now that don't even want to do finance? They're only getting a degree just because their parents' sake. Parents are putting a lot of pressure on them. What would you want to tell them?
You have to be flexible in this world because the real world doesn't care. There's people who graduate with legal degrees and end up being great investors in finance and they don't stay as lawyers. You're learning finance for a reason, and it's a reason you should learn it, but you might be a CEO. The real money is in sales of everything. If you're selling financial products, that's great. But understanding finance and companies' balance sheets is important, regardless of what you do. Because anybody who accumulates any wealth, I don't care if you're a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, a movie star, you're going to have to be an investor one day. You're going to have to trust somebody with all your money. So one day, if you get good at something, you want to know what you're doing. You want to know how to read things. So, whatever you do, and, do that. And don't be so rigid that you have to come out of school and go into finance or that. You have to learn, have to make money, or you have to make, kids today want to be something too much rather than making money and staying alive, and then you get to maybe one day play for something big. You don't get to come out of school and be something big. You have to put in real time, a decade, real slave labor under somebody. You have to learn something.
Okay. Should people be chasing money or passion? What would you tell them?
Both. And it says in the Bible, the love of money is the root of all evil, not money. So if you're making money and you're not screwing people for it, you create value and you happen to create a company that just makes a lot of money, you could do a lot of good. So money's important. It can change the world. But if you don't have passion for something you're doing, you won't make money. If you don't have passion, you won't make money. If you have passion, you'll work until. And you make money when your product is the best. You don't make money. You eventually have a good product. You eventually have some knowledge, and you eventually get paid for what you're worth. You get paid for what you're worth. The market values you, and you have to value yourself, and they pay you for what you're worth. If you have value, they'll pay you all the way up to it. You trade just like a stock.
Do you remember your first paycheck by any chance? How much you got paid?
I got paid on different deals, but yeah, not a lot of money. I'll show you that. I was playing college basketball. I was probably making a lot of money. I was probably making, 80, 100 grand a year. Free education, free books, free school. I was an entrepreneur then, but I wasn't getting really paychecks. Yeah.
What would you want to tell to somebody that has at least 50,000 laying around? Should they invest it into what? And then what should it
first invest it into yourself?
Okay.
Education, knowledge, contacts, relationship, things that'll make you money. A company, a product, maybe a little bit into the market, whatever, but something that you can build for yourself, that you can, sustain yourself with your whole life. Some type of trade skill, something that generates income at some point for you.
Okay. How big did your parents play a role into where you are in life right now? Were they always pressuring you, hey, Danny, you have to do it? Or were they like, let Danny do what he wants to do, and then we'll just back off and let him figure it out?
No, my dad, if I lost, I wasn't allowed to go home in sports and so I had a very competitive father. And he wasn't that competitive in school, but he was competitive in everything else. And we were a very competitive family. So I had to do something with my life. I got married engaged at the age of 20. So I was very young already, thinking about having a family. It's a lot of pressure.
Yes,
I had 2-3 kids by 25, 26. My wife never worked. So I had to make money. And I was expected to be something. I was raised, very competitively. So yeah, there was a lot of there is a lot of pressure to be successful in my family. If you're Dan Galvanoni.
Did you have any siblings that you were competing with, or?
Yeah, I did. I had an older brother, older sister, but I took on more of a personality like my father, and they didn't. So then he focused more on me, and sports, kept me relevant. And then when I went into business, I went into business for myself right after school. I was with him, my dad, for a little bit, and then I went on my own.
Okay. What's the difference between a commercial bank and a merchant bank? If there's a difference, what is it?
There is. So a commercial bank is regulated. It's a federal regulated entity. They borrow from the Fed. A merchant bank, they used to call them that back in the 1900s when they were controlled by the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and people like that. So it's a bank that unregulated, deals with the richest among us and the biggest institutions. And it's kind of a mystery what we do and how we operate. And we do what makes money, and we do whatever we want to do. So we do things that the banks can't do. And we bank the people that they're not banking. And we play in the markets that are unregulated, and we use some of our own capital, and then we use outside capital. So we were doing all types of capital structures. It's a high finance. It's a high finance term.
What's like a day-to-day? What's your day-to-day day like? What's your job like? What do you do? When do you wake up? What time do you go to sleep?
So I own all the companies I'm involved in. So I'm a chairman or a shareholder. I go to bed around 8, 9. I get up at 4 a.m. I work out 3 times a day. I believe it's to be a competitor and operate at the level I'm at, you have to have strong mental capacity and be able to handle stress. So I work out 12, 20 miles a day. I lift weights. I take a lot of calls. My days are preset of looking at new deals that need capital. And right now there's a lot. Looking at our existing portfolio, things that we're ready to put capital in if there's any issues, and then raising capital for things we're in, talking to investors. My investors are, Forbes 1000 and people like that. And we're raising $100 million tranches at times. And it's a lot of work. And so I'm the 100% shareholder of my firm. And we have an energy department, a corporate finance department, and a real estate department. And I'm overseeing those, and I'm overseeing the deal flow, and I'm overseeing the investors.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. What career would you have been if it wasn't private equity or any of this? What would you have seen?
I don't know. I wanted to be a pastor, to tell you the truth.
Really?
So I don't know. But I would have eventually been in sales. I would have sold something. I was raised to be in sales. I would have found something. But this was the highest level of sales you can be in, because you're selling opaque products, and you're selling to the most sophisticated people, and you're selling, money, and there's nothing more addicting than money. And it's competitive, and it's a fierce business, and it's exciting. It's an exciting business. You can make a lot of money, and you can lose everything you got.
That's true. What do you want to? How do you get past failures and negativity?
Say that again.
How do you get past failures and negativity?
I dealt with a lot of failure as a kid because, like I said, I was a poor student because of my learning disability. So I was always the worst student in every class. But I was so good at sports, I got confidence kind of from that. And I always had strong suits and poor suits. And then, so I know what my strengths are, and I know what usually when I go into something, I look at this, the statistics. I don't take things personal. And I know things a numbers game. But I got cheated recently out of tens of millions. That was tough. And I lost money, and I was, went through a lot of strange things. That was very hard to deal with. But generally, I pick myself back up. I learn from my failures, and I don't make the same mistake twice. I don't make the same mistake twice.
What else should we know about finance that school doesn't teach you in real life, like what you have learned?
Well, it's about people. School talks about numbers, and you understand all that, but in the day, you're dealing with people, and you're asking someone to give you a large amount of money, depending on what part of finance you're in. So it's about people. It's about trust. It's about meeting your word. It's about the financial community is based upon people's names, integrity, and word, and it's interwoven in the community. So people, don't meet their word and all these things. It has a great effect. Um, so that's my number one advice.
So communication and be a people's person.
Yeah, it's always about people.
It's always about. Okay. Mm. Is a degree important in real life?
That probably is. It wasn't really with me if you're gonna start your own company, but it probably is. But it's not worth going $100,000 in debt in. It's not worth going $20,000 in debt in anymore, because how much you're going to make after taxes, how long it's going to take you, especially if you could be working, making money. The key is you got to learn how to make money. You got to learn how to make money. And they don't teach you that much in school.
Mm-hmm. Is cash flow king?
Those people aren't making money. Of course, especially if it's more than your debt. When you have more money coming in cash flow than you spend, you're rich. You're rich. You could, like I made millions at times where you have all this overhead and you have no cash coming in. You might have cash in the bank, but it goes fast. The fastest thing to go is cash. You watch a company struggle, look at their balance sheet, their cash goes like this. It's the first thing that goes. So cash flow is everything, especially in place contracts, long-term cash flow, especially if it's more than your debt.
Okay. How did you get started though? What was your first day like?
I don't even know, man. People bringing me deals since I was a kid. They bring me deals to get to my dad because he was an investor. So I was doing this at a young age because I was listening to my dad and I'd bring him deals and introduce him to people. And I was already doing what I was doing. So people always saw me as someone who had access to money. So, and I had a personality. I knew a lot of people from my family. So I came out of school, even in school, I was someone that could make something happen for you.
Can you tell me about some hustling stories you did as a kid growing up? Like, what were you eat chips by any chance?
Well, yeah, I mean, I had to do newspaper routes. I had to pay my way through college playing basketball. I mean, I had to put serious work in, man. Mm-hmm. I had to put serious work in. I paid for my vacation. We go vacations. I'd pay for my time by taking people's baggage to the rooms without my parents knowing. I always knew how to make money, man. I could always sell. People liked me.
Okay. What do you want to say to the bullies that bullied you as a kid?
I didn't have that many people bullying me as a kid, but I had people try to bully me as an adult. Those are the ones that lost me tens of millions. I knock bullies out. I always win, and I'll crush them. I'm not somebody you need to bully. I'm not somebody you should try to bully, because sometimes you bully the wrong person, and bad things happen.
Yes, sir.
And people like that are just very insecure people, and I feel bad for them. I feel bad that they have to get satisfaction off hurting other people, and it's never made sense to me. I was a guy even in school because my brother got picked on. And he was older than me. That I would, if I saw someone getting picked on, I would stand up for the smaller person. I never liked that stuff. I never thought that was a tough guy move or anything like that. It's bullshit. People like that, as they get older and nobody ever tells them no, they become detriments to society.
Yeah.
And it's just they affect so many people. Someone should have laid them straight a long time ago. Power and privilege,
Yes, sir. Big facts. Oh, do you read any books by any chance?
Yeah, I read a lot of books. I read a lot of articles. I read a lot of trade information in my industry. I've read so many people's personal autobiographies. So yeah, I read a lot all the time.
Is there one book you can recommend?
I would say The Millionaire Next Door. My dad gave me in college. It's a good book.
Millionaire Next Door. Okay.
Young people, you guys don't really understand how to accumulate wealth. And then Who Moved My Cheese? 2 books, simple books, easy read. The Millionaire Next Door. It's about who really has money, who doesn't, and the Joneses and saving and how to become a millionaire pretty, without having to make $50 million like I've had. And then the other one is about who moved my cheese, meaning your whole life. Someone's going to move your rat. They're going to put you in a maze and they're going to keep moving your cheese. And that's just a fact. That's just life.
Yeah. What else should we, is there something we missed out on, or should I?
No, I think you covered as much as you can. What's your podcast about? What are you guys doing?
So I own Zyre Media, and I interview like CEOs and people who can give blunt, honest opinions and like answers to my questions, so they can inspire students, artists, entrepreneurs. Basically, that's pretty much what I do, and that's what I'm doing for season 1. And then season 2 is where I branch out to like movies that I've already been shooting for over a year, and like commercials and stuff like that. Basically, inspiring people.
Yeah, I mean that's the greatest gift we can give someone is inspiration. That's what I try to do too.
What motivates you every day? Family?
Yeah, my kids.
Your kids, okay.
I really love my kids. I want the best for them. And I want to leave a good legacy. In the Italian family, we're not perfect, but we always want better for our kids.
Yes, sir.
And that's what this is about. I have 3 kids, and this is a pretty tough world. And I want to leave them with a good legacy and some margin of error.
Yeah. How important is mental health?
It's very important. I struggled that with my whole life, and it's a lifelong journey. It's a process from sleeping, eating right, working out, having a balance, and it's a key to consistent, sustained success.
Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
It's a key to consistent, sustained success. Have you been able to hear me okay with these headphones?
Oh, yeah. This is going.
I can take them off.
No, you're good. It's fine. How's your day today like?
It's good. It's a good day. Busy Mondays. We go through a due diligence thing. We're in the middle of a transaction. We're closing. And I have calls with new deals and then term sheets when negotiating. We're like cardiovascular surgeons. We're getting busy and patients are coming sick. And it's a lot of work.
Look forward to Mondays, or you just thank God it's weekend, finally chill with my family?
I love Mondays. I've always hated the weekends.
Okay.
I don't mind them, but I love Mondays. So I enjoy my work, being productive.
Do you ever take on bad habits by any chance, like smoking nicotine or psychedelics or any other stuff?
That's stuff I would talk about online, but I'm certainly not a perfect human being. And I've struggled my entire life with things I've had to overcome. I've just been good at making money, and I had a knack for doing deals and understanding high finance and understanding people's psychology and what makes them do things in business. But it doesn't mean, I haven't struggled in other aspects of my life. But with the power of Christ, you can be transformed, and you can become a new person.
Religion is important, right? Or is it not important, or is it? What do you?
Well, I mean, everybody has their opinions, but my opinion is, we're here to serve a God. We're here to become more like Christ while we're on earth, and we're here to help each other, and we're here to love each other, and then we're going to go to a better place. And people could say my beliefs are crazy, but I believe it's true, and there's a spirit. They said when he died that we get to take the Holy Spirit and it makes us strong, and we can beat things. There's other religions, as you know, and I've studied those, and they give people strength depending what culture you are, where you're from, because the reality of the world is a struggle. Some people say that the ocean's like God, and the religion's like, how we break off the names or whatever. I don't know. I'm not God. All I know is there is a morality in our society that's been lost, and there's something missing. We don't value human life. We don't value each other anymore. And I feel for the young generation and how these decisions are being made and all that. It's not going to end well.
I was looking on your Twitter where you're talking about your Singaporean friend who's a doctor who came in with $10. Can you tell me about his story real quick?
He's an Indian. He
He's an
came
Indian. Okay.
he came with $10, and talk about racism. I mean, he came to Mississippi. And he had to sleep on the lawn to even get customers because the white doctors controlled the market.
Mhm.
And people would be dying, and they'd say, "You want to die? You want this Indian man on the lawn to come help you?" And then he did a good job, and then they gave him the janitor thing, and then he did that, and then he became the biggest in Gulfport, and became a multimillionaire, and then he bought a piece of real estate, subdivided it, made 42 million on his first deal. It's a long story. And he parlayed that into other things. Now he's the largest owner of Five Guys in the country. He has 100 million of real estate paid off homes. He's close to a billionaire. He has hundreds of millions in cash. He owns apartments, Five Guys. He owns, largest emergency room owner in Texas. He has a office. He has a gem business, and and he still has 400 million hotels. We're trying to fold into the Singapore REIT. He's my investor in that, and he has Israeli public companies. So yeah, he started with $10, and now, I mean, he's as big as it gets. So it just goes to show he believes in telling the truth, and he's a very disciplined person.
Discipline is very important in this game. What do you think about capitalism, right? Or you said, I saw it's Twitter again, capitalism rules and why socialism sucks. Can you give us some input on that?
We're studying any of the countries. Anytime you let the government get in too much control, you control the markets, like Venezuela, like Russia, like North Korea. The people suffer. That's why everybody leaves those countries to come to America. And when you have a free society where anybody can get rich, and anybody can create value, and anybody can come here and live their dreams, it's not because you don't know this guy in the government. I don't want to report to people in the government, man. They're hell. They don't know how to make money. All they want is power. So what you see them doing is power. Why do they hate Trump so bad? Because he's rich and powerful, and they'll never be. President, no president, he's always going to be powerful and rich. And these people, they just need power and power and power and power, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous. All of a sudden, you got a few people controlling everything, and we've lost. All the people have lost their power. Capitalism means you're open. You could start with $1. If you do a good job and do things, you could end up with billions of dollars. It's a free market. And you could start with $1 billion and end up with zero. It's a free market. It's good decision making. Doing research, building things. It's not man having a relationship with the government, and whoever gets favor gets the first supply of food. It's scary. And they rule how much money you make, and they take my money and they give it to you. And then all the great entrepreneurs, like the guys who founded eBay and the guys who founded Google and the guys who founded these great companies, they all leave and they don't found these companies. And the guys who founded Tesla, they never come to America no more. And guys like me, they leave. So then you have nothing left in this country. It was great. And that's what would happen. It's scary. It's scary. And you see these young people, like when Hitler was in control, how did he take over the Germany? And a bunch of young people were broke and they were disenfranchised and they were depressed, like now. And they would listen to anybody because they don't feel like they have a future. They can't see a future because the baby boomers are taking all their jobs and they have to work hard. This whole thing's not set up right. But it's just a scary time. And it's a great time of opportunity.
Sir, what's the best part and the worst part as being a CEO? Honest opinion. What do you think?
Well, it's not just a CEO. I'm also 100% shareholder. So the best part is being 100% shareholder, getting all the upside and controlling my life. The worst part is I don't have any partners. I don't have a boss. I could starve. I could lose everything. And there's no parachute. There's no safety net. There's nothing there. I'm not working for somebody where I'm a CEO and I get paid 50 grand a month to run some guy's company. I'm the CEO chairman, but I'm also the 100% shareholder. So it's much different. And, I bet on myself. I create value. So I'm fine with it.
Talk about that one time somebody gave you a chance and you proved them, like you are the guy.
That's almost my whole life. That's every time.
Mm-hmm.
With the Indian doctor, he gave me a chance a year ago now. He brings me into his home. He wants all my deals. And we're partnered because I have a unbelievable Rolodex and I know how to structure deals. And I know how to get into tough situations, and I'm tough, and I'm a guy you want by your side, and I have investors as well who will pour capital in, and I'm valuable. I made myself invaluable. I have that. That's how I built my company. Person after person. I don't do any advertising. People just talk word of mouth.
Well, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to talk to me.
I appreciate it. And find your best 2-minute splice and send it to me.
Yes, for sure.
No, put it on Twitter. I'll retweet it.
Yes, for sure. Can I take a picture real quick?
Yeah.
Why aren't you on Instagram and TikTok? I promise you TikTok. It's not a kid's.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. It's not my business. I just did Twitter to help people. I don't have time to manage all the social media, I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn. It was a fluke thing. I don't have time to do it all, I make my business is too busy.
Okay. But TikTok, please take into consideration. People need honesty, and you provide that.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I will.
Thank you very much.
Take it easy, my friend.
You too. Peace out.
I'll be in touch, brother. Cheers.
Yes, sir. Thank you.